Leonard Bernstein was an American conductor, composer, pianist, music educator, author, and humanitarian. Considered to be one of the most important conductors of his time, he was the first American conductor to receive international acclaim. Born the 25th of August 1918, Lawrence, Massachusetts, United States. Died the 14th of October 1990, the Dakota, New York, United States.
Leonard Bernstein's 70th birthday gala, 1988. The 26th of August 1988 celebration of the 70th birthday of Leonard Bernstein. His 70th birthday celebration took place at Tanglewood, where many of the world's greatest musicians assembled for an unprecedented tribute.
As Victor Borge would say.
Watching the closing minutes of the final event in a 4-day festival presented by the Boston Symphony Orchestra to honor the 70th birthday of the composer and conductor Leonard Bernstein. Last night in this hall, Indiana University's Opera Center performed Bernstein's Mass. Yesterday morning, a youth orchestra from Boston played his Jeremiah Symphony. On Friday, the cellist Yo-Yo Ma performed Brahms and Seiji Ozawa conducted Mahler in Bernstein's honor. On Thursday, Bernstein's actual birthday, there was a star-studded gala, 4 hours long. There have also been song recitals, film screenings, celebratory dinners. This afternoon's concert, however, is the only event which Bernstein himself planned. Everything else has been a birthday present to him from the Boston Symphony. Now he's repaid all the birthday gifts with this characteristically open-hearted Tchaikovsky performance. It's dedicated to his Tanglewood teacher, Serge Koussevitzky, with whom he began his conducting studies 48 years ago on this very spot. It certainly made sense for the Boston Symphony Orchestra to be the hosts for the Bernstein 70th birthday party. Bernstein grew up in Boston. He went to school there, heard his first concert there with this orchestra, went to university there at Harvard, just across the Charles River. and he became a pupil at the Boston Symphony's summer home of Tanglewood, an idyllic spot in the Berkshire Hills 100 miles to the west of Boston, when its teaching center was founded back in 1940. Bernstein went on to build a career of major importance in American and indeed international musical life. In the 1940s and 50s, he was the composer of musicals such as On the Town and West Side Story, which revitalized Broadway. On the classical front, he's composed 3 powerful symphonies, several vibrant ballet scores, and 3 operas, A Quiet Place, Trouble in Tahiti, and Candide, which we'll be showing on television next Saturday. For many years, Bernstein also appeared as a solo pianist, while in the 1950s he developed superb musical programs on television, ranging from children's concerts to essays for adults. They transformed the quality of musical appreciation in America. And he's traveled the world as a conductor, giving thousands of concerts and making literally hundreds of recordings and films, with the New York Philharmonic and the Vienna Philharmonic, with the Boston Symphony, of course, and with many others, including our own London Symphony Orchestra, of which he's now the president. But Bernstein's never forgotten his Tanglewood roots. Every year he comes back here to teach, to conduct, and to work with the young students. This year, when he was due to celebrate his 70 years and 10, the Boston Symphony resolved to hold this birthday bash in his honor, and it's highlights of the gala evening which we're going to see now. This is a big charity occasion, the good cause being the endowment of student scholarships for the Tanglewood Music Center, which stands to gain upwards of $1 million. All the artists are donating their services tonight, and the program's being televised by 18 countries. Bernstein's greeted by his family, his son Alexander, his younger daughter Nina, and Jamie, his elder daughter. Little does he know that they'll be performing a number for him later in the show. He does know that Stephen Sondheim's written a new satirical song for him and about him, to be performed by Lauren Bacall, no less, but everybody's been sworn to secrecy about the contents. The host this evening, in this edited version of the gala, will be another outstanding American musician, the former soprano Beverly Sills. I say former because she retired a few years back. Now she's the boss of the New York City Opera.
Thank you. Good evening. Hi, Lenny. Welcome, Jenny. That's Lenny's mother. Welcome to all the Bernsteins. Tonight is an extraordinary night. We've all been calling it the Boston Symphony's birthday bash for Lenny Bernstein. It's going to be a celebration with friends that love him and artists that have worked with him and learned from him. There'll be a lot of Bernstein music and a lot of music of other composers whose works Lenny has championed. Now, there's a wonderful quote from the Old Testament. I have to read this to you. Awake, psaltery and harp, I will rouse the dawn. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord. Well, Lenny liked that quote so much that he made it a part of his first movement of the Chichester Psalm. And tonight, to make a joyful noise, Maestro Sergio Zauer, the Boston Symphony Orchestra, and the Tanglewood Festival Chorus will perform. Yeah, will perform. They will perform the first movement of the Chichester Psalms by Leonard Bernstein. It's fitting and proper that the Boston Symphony Orchestra should be the host of this great celebration, because the Boston Symphony was the first orchestra Lenny ever conducted. You see, he entered a newspaper competition, and the prize that he won was getting to conduct the BSO on the Esplanade in Boston. He was to conduct, without a rehearsal, the overture to the Meistersinger. Well, he tried it once and liked it, so a conductor was born. He was 21, that was 1940. It was also the first summer he came to Tanglewood. The head of the composition department was Aaron Copland, and when these two men met, it was history in the making. Maestro Ozawa is going to conduct for us tonight one of the less well-known pieces by Mr. Copeland, but we thought it was very relevant to the festivities. Maestro? It's also fitting and proper that we should be celebrating this great occasion here in Tanglewood. Presiding over the orchestra back in the 40s was a Russian conductor by the name of Serge Koussevitzky. Now, if Aaron Copland was like an elder brother to Lenny, well, I guess Maestro Koussevitzky was like a second father. He never called him Leonard or Lenny. He called him Lenushka. As a matter of fact, he wanted Lenny to change his whole name, and had Lenny given in, we would be celebrating the 70th birthday of Leonard S. Burns. We thought you might like to know a little bit more about Maestro Koussevitzky, so we went down into the archives, and we found a film that was made in the 40s. It was made right here in Tanglewood, as a matter of fact, right here on this stage. And we have the young Lenny Bernstein working at a job in New York for a music publishing company, not really what he should be doing, when all of a sudden, everything clicked. He got a job as assistant conductor with the New York Philharmonic. Now, most assistant conductors never even get to see the podium, let alone conduct on it. But one day, Bruno Walter became ill, and Lenny was called upon, without rehearsal, to do the program. Lenny, I'm going to take you for a short stroll down memory lane. You can all come along, of course. I'm going to take you to a cold November afternoon in 1943 at Carnegie Hall.
In Carnegie Hall, we resume this afternoon's New York Philharmonic Symphony concert, sponsored by United States Rubber Company, with a performance of Richard Strauss's tone poem, Don Quixote, subtitled Fantastic Variations on a Theme of Knightly Character. Leonard Bernstein, assistant conductor of the Philharmonic Symphony, will direct.
Ladies and gentlemen, to complete those last few minutes of Don Quixote, one of Lenny's most distinguished and beloved friends who flew in from Italy this morning, the great cellist Slava Rostropovich.
My dearest, beloved Lenichka, just now I speak with you through the dinner, and you tell me that you was in grave of greatest Russian writer Dostoevsky when you was in Soviet Union recently. Dostoevsky say very magic words. He say, beauty makes safety to the world. Lenichka, thank you very, very much. You make beauty to the world and safety to the world. You make it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Michael Tilson Thomas.
Of course, Lenny has been the greatest champion of American music. It was a mantle he naturally assumed right here at Tanglewood from Koussevitzky. And indeed, here at Tanglewood, we still can hear the strains of Copland and Harris and Schumann and Bernstein and all these great legendary Americans whistling in the very treetops. And just here at Tanglewood it was that Copland banged out a lot of his most famous pieces with Lenny right there at two pianos or four hands along with him. Even now again adding a few little bars of piano fills for some of the Copland pieces we love the most. Here is one of Copland's all-time greatest hits, all right, Hoedown.
There was one aspect of Lenny's creative activities that didn't sit very well with Maestro Koussevitzky, and that was his flirtation with the Broadway scene. Well, let's face it was much more than a flirtation. It was an out-and-out love affair. And from the seeds of Fancy Free sprang a full-blown musical. It had a very simple storyline, 3 young sailors on a 24-hour furlough in New York City, but it had a symphonic score. Broadway had never seen or heard anything like that before. Jerome Robbins was the choreographer, and 2 writers were brought in, Betty Comden and Adolph Green. And there were songs, and what songs? They were hits, and they became classics. Gene Kelly and Frank Sinatra. And Frank has sent you a letter, Lenny, and I'm going to read it. It begins, "Dear Genius, be assured, Lenny, that between songs here in Reno, where I'm performing tonight, I raise a toast in your honor and gratitude for all you have done for the musical world, which bows towards you in appreciation this day, and for all you have done for the personal world I alone inhabit, which is a far better place because of your friendship, which I will always cherish. Happy birthday, young man. I can hardly wait for your next 70. Warmest hugs, Francis Albert." Please welcome the conductor of the Boston Pops, Maestro John Williams. To say a little bit about Lenny's impact on a whole new generation of musicians, the composer and producer, Quincy Jones.
I took Michael Jackson to see Lenny one time at the Royce Hall with the New York Philharmonic. It was Michael's first classical concert. And after the concert, he said, "I thought you told me he was a classical musician." I said, "He is." He said, "Well, I want to steal some of his moves." But he changed his mind because I think they were too difficult. You know, Michael's going to be 30 next Sunday. This is a song from LB's first musical, On the Town. I Can Cook Too. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome my goddaughter, Patty Austin.
And what more, baby, I can cook.
And so the dreaded biblical day has arrived. There's only one problem about this birthday, only one. Everything else is wonderful. The entrance into the so-called golden age, feeling younger than ever in the late summer of life, and in the actual late summer of this beautiful place called Tanglewood. And the floods of loving wishes from family, friends, colleagues, and hosts of human beings I don't even know. The fun, the music making, the parties, the surprises, everything, except one thing, the unusual number of interviews. Interviews are always a problem, generally in the sense that what you reply to media questions is not guaranteeably going to be accurately reproduced. Even on live television, where those in charge have the options of cutting, omitting, cutting away from you in mid-sentence, or relaying your words in a whole other context, or in a certain arbitrary order, which can attach unintended connotations to what you're saying, or distracting attention from the point you're making by focusing the camera on a tiny but interesting skin defect. Besides all these, and possibly worse, are the interview questions themselves. How does it feel to be 70? What have you learned? What words of wisdom do you have to offer us? What advice for the young? Who is your favorite composer, poet, statesman? What is your favorite food, color, physical type, sport, hobby? Which of your musical activities do you prefer? How do you want to spend the rest of your life? How do you want to be remembered after you've died? What do you think of your latest biography? Which of your compositions do you like the most? What? Which? How? The answer is, I don't know. I have no favorite. I am poor in wisdom. Advice is cheap and often misleading, and I have not read my latest biography. The questions are simply not answerable, except to say that I am a happy man today and an extremely lucky one. And so I'm particularly happy to have this chance to talk to you directly without benefit of interviewers. I don't have to answer those routine questions with cliche answers that begin to repeat themselves almost as often as the questions themselves do. I don't much like that trap of repetitiveness. It's after a certain point, repetition can lead to non-communication, and my life is, I think, dedicated to communication, to sharing the wonder of experience with other people. And so perhaps now I can say something different, something fresh and new. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I have just now. Thank you all of you, for the treasure of your affection.
Thank you. And the birthday party continues. The second half, we're going to concentrate on Lenny's incredible versatility of musical talents and musical activities. They range from recording to opera to movies to teaching to preaching. You just name it, it's all there. We begin with a work of Lenny's that is performed more often than any other work he's written, and that's the Overture to Candide. It's going to be performed by a man who has done so much to give new life to Candide. He's the musical director of the Scottish Opera. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Maestro John Mauceri. Lenny called Candide his musical Valentine card to Europe because it had echoes of Johann Strauss, Offenbach, Gounod, and even his beloved Gilbert and Sullivan. You're going to hear a number called I Am Easily Assimilated. Tonight, a special birthday present for you, Lenny. The reason you're getting this song is that the lady who's going to sing it started her career as a teenager in operetta. And tonight, special birthday present, we're pushing her into the world of comic opera. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Christa Ludwig.
I was not born in Buenos Aires. My mother came from Rovno-Gubernia. But now I'm here, I'm dancing a tango. I am easily assimilated. I am so easily assimilated. I never learned a human language. My father spoke a high Middle Polish. In one half I'm talking in Spanish. Por favor, correador, I am easily assimilated. I am so easily assimilated. It's easy, it's ever so easy. I'm Spanish, I'm suddenly Spanish. And you must be Spanish too. Do like the natives do. These days you have to be in the majority. Los labios rojos, rosas que se abren ahí, conquistan mi corazón y solo con una canción. Tus labios rubí, traicionando las ofrecer a mí. Oui, oui, sí, sí, ya, descanastre quoi. El vuelo me sale una hernia. Away from Rovno-Gubernia.
When we asked the young Medora, the Japanese violinist, to appear for Lenny's 70th birthday party, she said yes, but she would like to play the Carmen Fantasy. And so, with Maestro Ozawa accompanying her, Here is the most unexpected Carmencita you're ever likely to see. Midori. The season of 1953-54 was one of those periods in Lenny's life where his wave of activity seemed to go in all directions. There was the score to On the Waterfront. There was the premiere of his violin serenade, played by Isaac Stern in Venice, and miraculously, another Broadway musical with Comden and Green. It was, of course, Wonderful Town. There was a young American growing up who became a very famous opera star. But as a kid, she knew every number in Wonderful Town. And when we asked her today to please participate in Lenny's birthday party, she said, yes, but I have to leave Cherubino at home and Melisande at home and Cendrillon at home. I want to sing something from Wonderful Town. So, accompanied by Maestro John Williams, Miss Frederica von Stade.
I'm a little
Borga.
Thank you. You may go home now. Thank you very much. Please be seated. I had a dream. Not long ago, I went to Richard Wagner's home, and he said, "You are going to Tanglewood." I said, "How do you know?" He said, "That doesn't matter." "And you're going to celebrate Leonard Bernstein's birthday. I have written a little piece for him, and I want you to play that." So I told him it would be my 80th birthday in January. What do I do then? He said, "You play the same thing." So he gave it to me, and he said, "There it is, Vic." And I said, "Thank you, Dick." Will you hold it for me, please, and not say anything? For you, it works.
Tonight, we're going to hear one of the loveliest numbers from Songfest, Leonard Bernstein's setting of Walt Whitman's poem, To What You Said. Our performance is very Tanglewoodian. The cello obbligato will be played by Yo-Yo Ma, who performs and teaches here every summer. The bass soloist is an alumnus of Tanglewood, Robert Osborne, and another Tanglewood fellow, Michael Tilson Thomas, will be the conductor. Here they are now. next we have a small group, a vocal combo, 4 young people who are going to perform a number called the 7/0 Stomp. I should give you the names of the artists. They are Nina Bernstein, Alexander Bernstein, and Jamie Bernstein, who wrote the music and lyrics, plus Jamie's husband, David Thomas. So, here they are, Leonard Bernstein's children, performing the 7/0 Stomp.
Do, 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 yeah, do.
Do it again. Do this, do it,
do,
score and 10.
Yeah,
True
do,
blue, prince among men. We always knew he'd do it again.
yeah,
Do you believe he's done much more than we can conceive?
yeah,
Fun, fast, cooking with gas. At parties, he's the last one to leave.
Mister, what's the word?
Papa flies faster than a hummingbird. Oh, brother, what you know?
Papa pushing through that 7-0.
7-0.
7-0.
Do it again. We talking about one fine sentiment.
Yeah,
Blue, mensch among men. It's funky, fresh at 3 score and 10. Funky birthday. Funky birthday, birthday to you.
It's true. I once tried to sharpen a pencil in your ear.
Ow,
It's true.
I didn't call to say I'd be home late.
I was about to call the police. It's true. I got your daughter in a family way.
But that turned out okay. And yes, it's true. The most difficult man in my life.
Difficult man.
Is you.
Difficult man.
The most difficult, humorous, lovely man. A guy who gives and gives is a hard kind of guy to live with. Such fine stuff means you can never repay enough. So why do we try? 'Cause he's such a daddy guy.
Such a daddy guy.
Daddies need their kids to hug them, to keep them down to earth. We hug them. Take this bell as a sign that we think you're swell. Make it ring. If you need anything, and we'll come running. Oh, we'll come running. Daddy will come running.
Yeah,
Do it again. We talking about one fine sentiment.
yeah,
True blue, mensch among men. The dude is doing 3 score and 10. So big, so strong.
He can lift you off the ground with a song.
So swift, so smart.
He can take an automobile apart.
Maybe not.
Well, maybe not.
But don't you wish you could do a quarter of the things he can do?
Yeah.
Don't you hope you'll have been half that cool by 3 score and 10? Half that cool by 3 score and 10. Half that cool by 3 score and 10. Half that cool by 3 score and 10. Half that cool by 3 score and 10.
show devoted to Leonard Bernstein's life and music would be complete unless we went back to the Broadway score of West Side Story. With John Williams to conduct, we have chosen two numbers from the show West Side Story. Barbara Hendricks will do I Feel Pretty, and a quintet of voices, youngsters from Tanglewood in New York, will perform the Tonight Quintet.
And entrancing, still like running and dancing for joy, for I'm loved by a pretty, beautiful boy. Have you met my good friend Maria, the craziest girl on the block? You know her, the minute you see her, she's the one who is in an advantage of shock. She thinks she's in love, she thinks she's insane. She isn't in love, she's merely insane. It must be the heat or some rare disease, or too much to eat, or maybe it's sleep. It's away with her, Bernsteiniana. This is not the money away, the modest and pure, polite and refined, well-bred and mature, and out of her mind. America, please, America. I feel pretty, oh so pretty, that the city should give me a gift. Oh, committee should be organized to honor me. La 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 la. I feel dizzy, I feel sunny, I feel busy and funny and high. So pretty, Miss America just reside. La 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 la. See the pretty girl in that mirror. What mirror? Where? Who can that attractive girl be? Wait, what? Where? Who? Such a pretty face, such a pretty dress, such a pretty soul, such a pretty me. I feel sunny and entrancing, like running and dancing and joy. For I know I am pretty wonderful.
The Jets are gonna have their day tonight. The Sharks are gonna have their way tonight. The Puerto Ricans grumble, fair fight. But if they start a rumble, we'll rumble them right. We're gonna hand them a surprise tonight. We're gonna cut them down to size tonight. We said, okay, no roasted, no tricks, but just in case they jump us, we're ready to mix tonight. We're gonna rock it tonight. We're gonna jazz it up and have us some fun. They're gonna get it tonight. The more they turn it on, the harder they'll fall. Well, they began it, and we're the ones to stop them once and for all tonight.
Anita's gonna get a kick tonight. We'll have a private little mix tonight. You're walking hot and tired. No one, no matter if he's tired, as long as he's hot.
Tonight won't be just any time. Tonight there will be no morning star. Tonight, I'll see my love tonight, and for us, stars will stop where they are. Tonight.
And now the icing on the birthday cake. Lenny, in honor of your 70th birthday, Stephen Sondheim has written a song just for you. It's called The Saga of Lenny. Accompanied by Paul Ford, please welcome Miss Lauren Bacall.
There once was a boy named Lenny, whose talents were varied and many, so many that he was inclined never to make up his mind. In fact, he was so gifted, he seldom felt uplifted, just undefined. Poor Lenny, 10 gifts too many, the curse of being versatile. To show how bad the curse is, we'll need a lot of verses and take a little vial. Lenny made his mind up when he was 3. He'd write a show, a ballet, and a symphony. But once the winds were tootled and the first strings plucked, he decided it was terrible, he'd have to conduct. Poor Lenny, time and again he complained, I'm in this dreadful bind. I feel for Leonardo, God, genius is so hard. Oh, you cannot make up your mind. Lenny made his mind up when he was 9. He'd be not only Bernstein, he'd be Rubinstein. But just Rubinstein, he grumbled, that's like calling it quits when there's Hammerstein and Wittgenstein and Gertrude and Bliss. Poor Lenny knew there and then he might easily get over Stein. From Ein to Epp to Julie to Liechtenstein, oh, truly, he could not make up his mind. Lenny made his mind up at 22 to do whatever Pinzer or Astaire could do. Though his voice was truly bass, he had the charm of a kid. And if the dance floor didn't suit him, the podium did. Poor Lenny, wondering when he could show off all his gifts combined. Began a TV feature, it's best to be a teacher when you can't make up your mind. Lenny made his mind up at 28 that marriage and a family would be just great. But he had no time for weddings till the great day came. He was free between a tennis and an anagrams game. Poor Lenny, we're so poor Jenny, who muttered all those years resigned. I don't care if he picks a schlemazel or a shikser, he should please make up his mind. Lenny made his mind up at 46 that maybe atonality and rock would mix. Though it certainly was cereal with rhythm on top, it had lots of snap and crackle, but not enough pop. Poor Lenny, pacing his Denny, was worried he'd be left behind. He mumbled, how ironic, atonal is a tonic when you can't make up your mind.
So is minimalism. Lenny made his mind up at 7-0 to be a modern Renaissance-like man, you know. And there's virtually nothing that he hasn't done. So get ready for his club act at 71. Forward marches dear, politicians here, still at sea at 310. Decked with every laurel, Lenny, here's the moral. Do whatever pleases you and when. Follow all your talents, don't attempt to balance. Shower us with every kind. Share your every vision, stick with indecision. Don't make up, you shouldn't make up, you mustn't make up, don't ever make up. Live another score, write another score, and don't make up your mind.
Tanglewood's tribute to Leonard Bernstein cannot end without a word from the music director of the Boston Symphony, our host tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Maestro Seiji Ozawa.
Lenny, we met long time ago. I was your assistant. You helped me many things. I learned so much. Lenny, you made Kusbitsky's dream. You said always, you made Kusbitsky's dream. You made Kusbitsky's dream your dream. And you gave so much to this Tanglewood. So we tried tonight to give something back to you. I hope you liked it. Lenny, happy birthday. We all love you. Thanks for making Tanglewood Garden grow. So, to finish this big party by singing, Make Our Garden Grow. Everybody on stage, please. Everybody come.
our house and chop our wood and make our garden round and make our
I feel that I have lived 5 lives or so already by the grace of God. Although I am not quite content to die just yet, there still remains so much to be composed. But if I did indeed cease life today, I would not beat my fists against the fates, for I am the luckiest and most blessed and most grateful person I have ever met.